Yes, welcome to I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, man, this is Manins, man. We're here again live one more Friday for one more big show as we get ready to preview and review the JPL, the Jamaica Premier League. Again, extremely delighted to have you with us. You know, we have some very special guests who will be with us this week. You know, we have Mr. David Pryce who will be joining us in the next 15 minutes or so. We also have our regular in studio, let's call it that, coach, Mr. Rudolph Speid. I know he's presently preparing his Cavaliers team because, you know, they play the first game this weekend. That's actually tomorrow. So, you know, it's a midday game. And so I suspect that they are in training at this time, preparing. But, you know, he's going to be here. And we also have Mr. Donavon Duckie, who will be joining us as well. He's going to be a part of our show for today. So we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to having you discuss these things. Please remember, you can ask questions as we go. If you have a comment, also remember you can let us know that. Right. So this is I Am Sure Sports. Again, we want to thank all our subscribers. If you're one of our regular subscribers and you hit the notification bell when you subscribe to the channel, you would have seen our Friday videos, or preview or review Friday video. We call it the Big Bang because it covers sporting content from the previous week. It was totally dedicated to football as we looked at the Gold Cup. We look back at the Gold Cup, the Euro 2020, and the Copa America. And so if you have not seen that, you need to just go back and watch that video. Around 30 minutes, but it's very good content, and I'm very sure you will enjoy it. But like I said, today we focus primarily on Jamaica's football, looking at the league, the JPL, 3 weeks completed, and we have seen major changes at the coaching level thus far. We had a change of venue for the third week. And so, yeah, we're going to see how all of that transpired, and we're going to discuss some of those things. But, you know, normally before we get into our discussion, we play our intro video. Welcome, Miguel. Always good to have you. Bless up, man. So let's play that right now. And yeah, man, and we'll come back and join you, and hopefully we'll have a couple of our guests at that time. So we have 3 guests today. It's going to be you're going to see goal scoring record. You're going to see a lot of things today. So stay tuned, and yeah, man, get yourselves ready. This is going to be a big one. It is going to be a good one.
I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe share. Listen, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Yes, so there you have it. And, so remember, follow the instructions, right? And check us out. Check us out. Good show lined up today. Like I said earlier, we have 3 persons who are going to be part of the discussion today. Very interesting things we have to discuss. So, the early birds normally catch the most worm, but we're not catching any worm today. We're collecting all the resources. And so, our first regular, well-known, the guru is in early. So we're going to have the guru and we're going to have the genius. And so let me introduce the guru to the show right now. Mr. Speid, you're muted, so you have to hit.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, you're welcome, man. I can see that you're at the training ground today.
You see my shirt?
Yes, and I see a little sweat on your face, so it looks like you're preparing for tomorrow. So
yeah, but see my shirt, let me show you. Jamaica shirt. See Jamaica shirt.
I see it. Like them? All right. So that is the new fan jersey.
No. This one is special made. But I show you stay. I'm ready for the game later.
Oh, you're ready for the one later? Are you prepared for the one tomorrow?
Yes, but I'm ready for you one later already.
No, man. I tell people that we're going through this zone. I believe that we have good enough. I know we had at least one setback with Bobby Reed testing positive, but I know that we are going to go through a fully confident in the guys and saying, and I'm glad that you are. Yeah.
You know the old saying, if an older player don't go down, younger player won't get a chance.
There you go. And I'm hoping that I'll see Mr. McGee.
Exactly.
Today, because I think he's going to make a mark on this tournament. So I'm looking forward to him playing today and things. So as you know, today along with us we're gonna have David Pryce. He's going to be on in a little while, and Mr. Donavon Duckie is also going to be on with us today. People, you have to be with Mr. Speid, because he's very committed to this, because he's actually at training, and so you will hear a little sound in the background, but we're gonna get it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna sort out Mr. Speid's background, and then man, we get on back. Right, so man. I see that Joseph Gray. Easy win later indeed. Easy win later. I believe that we're gonna beat. I wouldn't say it's an easy win because this, man, I think this Guatemala team is a very physically imposing team. And not only that, I also believe that they play very aggressive. You'd have noticed that in the game that they played, one player was red carded. And so, but I think our players are used to the aggressive play. But I think we have a better team than they do. And if we win this, it's almost automatic that we make it to the next round, because I don't think Suriname will get the better of Costa Rica, and so that would mean that we make it through. I think what we need to look at is what is happening in that other zone, because that last game between USA and Canada will be very interesting, because Canada is actually leading that group now on goal difference. So that is going to be, because I think if we win our zone, we end up playing the second place in that particular group, and if we finish second, we play first place. So that will be a very interesting matchup. But we don't want to, spend our time right now focusing on the national team. That's a separate program. But again, Jamaica to win. That's what we're predicting. I think it's going to be harder than the first game just because of the physical play of the Guadeloupe team. Bobby Reed, I believe, is out, and McGee is going to come in. Well, we're hoping. Let me put it that way. We're hoping that we'll see Tyreek McGee. Many have been asking for him as a local player. He has improved a whole lot, put on some weight, and all of that. So we're looking forward to seeing what he will produce for this game today. All right. So yeah, man. Well, hope you watch some of the local Premier League. Listen, people, I want to say this to you. I want to encourage all of you who are listening to me, right? We follow all the leagues in the world. We support the BPL, we support La Liga, we support the Bundesliga. We watch it, we subscribe to stuff, we pay money. But we need to invest in our football. I know sometimes you may not find it to be the most attractive, but I will say to you, based on what I've seen thus far, in this particular season, that the surfaces are better, the video quality is better, and the play is better. Even the officiating is a whole lot better. So let us give some support to the local league. The more of us watch it, I think it's better for the marketing and the viability of the league. So I want to encourage you. I mean, still stick to your overseas stuff that you want to do, but please make an effort, man. Let us watch. Let us give some support to our local league. We can't be just focused on Premier League and all of those things. Let's give some support to our local football. That's very, very important. And I want to push you. Like, if you have not, even if it means subscribing to Sports Max, whatever you need to do, you have to watch it. I always tell people, you can't criticize the thing that you're not paying attention to. You can't watch a one game and say, boy, look at the football. But no, let's stop that. Let's give some time to our local football. So if you have not watched any of the games, I encourage you to start this weekend and watch a couple of them. There are some good games that will be on this weekend that we are going to talk about. But before we get into that, you ready, Mr. Speid?
Yes, man, ready for you.
All right. So let's look back at last week, round 3. Very interesting round. Let's go over the games. I mean, 5 games were played. The first game that was played, this is the first of the 2 Saturday games. Portmore defeated Moulins by a goal to nil. A goal scored in the 96th. Well, in the 6th minute of additional time, because it can't be the 96th minute, right? That is more accurate thing. In the 6th minute of additional time, Damano Solomon scored. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, Damano is a centre half. Actually, the referee had a whistle in his mouth to blow off the game. And then I think Jeremy Nelson from Moulins committed an infringement, which resulted in the kick. Yeah. And with both teams missing like a barrage of goals right throughout the game, it was the centre half, not getting a lot of those chances, was able to turn up and tap home that one near the end. It was really a painful blow for the Moulins team at that point.
Yeah. I must say I was very surprised with the Moulins team because I think they put on a good show. I don't know if I should have been surprised, but I thought they came into the game and they played well. Jamie Nelson, who was at Mount Pleasant last season at the back end, not last season, but the abrupted season, he went back to Moulins, played pretty well. There were 2 Nelsons, I think there are 2 brothers, both of them played well. And there's a Farkison as well, who played centre forward, or he played up front. Had a good game as well. And their centre back, Steve Wright. So very good game. And I think this player from Portmore, his name is I don't know. Anybody stood out for you on the Moulins team?
Well, as I said before, the game was kind of a bit difficult because of those players that you mentioned are really quality players. The game was a bit difficult because of the windy condition. The wind just never abated, and both teams got chances playing with the wind. And then, so yes, Nelson, well, the little Nelson, that's Nicholas, he did well to get into goal scoring position numerous times. He just didn't convert. So I wasn't surprised though, because I know that, both teams have decent players, both teams are in a rebuilding mode. And you're going to see those games. There'll be no easy games. All the games will be close, I think, this season, unless somebody loses interest later down to the end. But for now, everybody thinks they have a chance at the top 6, so they're all fighting.
Yeah. And on the Portmore side, I was also impressed with the Phillips is his name. Demario Phillips plays in midfield. I thought he had a good game. Solomon had a good game in defense, and Emilio Rosso, I think, was one of the other players who really stood out for the Portmore team. Anybody else stood out for you from the Portmore
No,
side?
Emilio Rosso actually is a converted centre half. He usually is a very attacking player that comes up on the left side of the defense. But Portmore now plays with 3 in the back, and he enjoys himself playing as one of the 3. He gets a lot more time and space on the ball. And I mean, he's continuing his season after scoring a wonderful goal against, I think it was against Dundee.
First game, right?
So no, Portmore is a quality team. One thing I know about Portmore is that no matter how they start out the league, they're gonna improve as the league progresses. So they are a dangerous team, and they are top of the tables now. So I expect them to continue to be dangerous throughout the season.
Okay. All right, and then the second game on the Saturday was the Mount Pleasant versus Harborview. Harborview won by 2-0. What are your thoughts? Were you surprised about that? What are your thoughts on that particular game?
I'm just. I think the game was closer than the result. Mount Pleasant was just a bit unlucky not to have scored at any one time. Harborview was very clinical though in front of goal. They got few chances too, but they put away the 2 that they got. I am particularly impressed with their young striker. He just works hard, and when he's finished trying to score, he will turn provider. I'm really impressed with him. Harborview team, with a set of youngsters, and they have a really good coach in Ludlow Bernard. I think all around the Harborview team played well. There was, Diamond, their central midfielder, was outstanding. A lot of people not realizing the type of work he's doing. Even locally.
The central midfielder is you're talking Priestley.
Priestley, his nickname is Diamond. I know him as Diamond.
Okay.
So yeah, he's outstanding, very outstanding in that.
All right, as you can see.
Yeah, so I think, that Harborview team is one that is going to go places, and I think that, the coach is doing a wonderful job with them. So let's see. I think they deserve the victory in the end, mainly because Mount Pleasant didn't make use of their chances. There was even one occasion where a Mount Pleasant defender, when he was running ragged, he had to resort to violent means. I mean, he's lucky he didn't get a red card.
Yeah,
so I think Mount Pleasant was, beat. They were beat.
Unlike you, I didn't think Mount Pleasant created enough to score. I think they should have been down by, this is a player that I really like, Alwyn Harvey. But I don't know what the rules are, but I felt like Alwyn Harvey, I think he should have been red carded for that tackle on Chang early in the first half when Chang was through on goal, almost on the D. But the referee didn't even give a card, so I wasn't sure why that was so, because he didn't win the ball.
I'm not hearing you.
Oh, you're not hearing? Yeah, so you heard Mr. Speid's view, Coach Speid's view, but okay, there you go. Hold on, people. So we have one more for a guest as Mr. Speid just chipped out to come back on. Mr. Pryce.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir, and to your viewers.
Yes, all right. So let me just add back Mr. Speid. Mr. Speid.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. All right. So Mr. Pryce, Mr. David Pryce just joined us.
Mr. Speid.
Mr. Pryce, how are you?
I am good,
Pryce is
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
we'll, we'll figure that out. Right. So we were just at the second game over the weekend, Mr. Pryce, which is in Mount Pleasant Harborview. And Mr. Speed just shared his thoughts. And my thoughts was that I think Mount Pleasant were outcoached. I think the strategy that they used never worked for them. And Harborview played better and actually won the game. And I think that was the right result. I think two players could have been red carded for Mount Pleasant. I think left back, his name Suley McCullough should have been red carded. If there was video replay, could have been red carded for I think hitting Chang in his mouth, and then Alwyn Harvey could have also been red carded in the first half when the player was through on goal and he made a tackle. I don't know why. The referee would have done that, but that's what I saw.
Not even a card. Not even a card.
Not even a card was given. Very surprising. Maybe the rules are different. I don't know if you have to be at a certain distance, or maybe the goalkeeper was. I don't know what the rules are
I
because
saw her consult.
you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Mr. Price.
In terms of
You're breaking up.
no, I'm
We're not hearing you clearly. All right, so let me just remove it. Yeah, Mr. Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, can you explain to me why that wasn't a cardable offense? I mean, maybe you're more abreast of the rule than I am.
No, I'm not a trained referee now, and every time, some of the times when I say something to them, they say, no, that's not the way you should look at it. But they have a way of saying that if the person is not a direct threat to the goal, in their opinion, then they cannot give the red card.
All right, but there was no card at all.
Right. Then they have this unwritten rule that, you're correct. I don't know what the reasoning was, but that's what the rule, and I'll just live with it for now. I'm sure that those things will be revised by the chairman of the. Maybe you could get him on here one day, Mr. Victor Stewart.
Victor Stewart, yeah.
He'll be able to explain it more than I.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I'll probably try to get him. Yeah, because that's part of the thing. But I think, like I said, the Mount Pleasant team, they were outcoached. They didn't offer anything in terms of threat. They weren't good defensively. I don't think any player on their team stood out. I mean, you have a youngster named Jimenez who was playing right back. I mean, he had a very, very good game. I think he's the right back for Harborview. Johnny Talbot played well in defense, and I think Lovell Palmer was around here, really played well. They have a youngster Stewart who also played well. The goals were scored by Chang in the 28th minute, and Lennox Russell, who formerly of Arnett Gardens, scored in the 58th minute of the game, and so Harborview won by 2-0.
Yeah, and both was very good goals. So I'd have nothing. As I said before, Harborview is one of the better team in the competition. They're playing that way. They are going to improve, and they have a very good coach, and they have a family atmosphere. I think it's easier for Harborview to relate to the young players because that's in their DNA, and it's showing.
Yeah. All right. Now let's come to one of the third game for the weekend, which would have been Don't Beholden versus Cavalier. Mr.
Right.
Speed, you want to talk to us about that game? Because you probably
course. No, of course. I mean, again, you'd have to say Don't Beholden change a coach during the week, got a new coach, and the coach got straight to work. There's a bit of a coach's, a new coach syndrome that you could see the players were committed with the new coach. Whatever he was saying to them, they were buying into it. We started well, missed a couple opportunities, and then they got a corner in the 4th minute. And not too much excuse. The wind was very heavy. They scored against us, and then they did something remarkable. They fell behind the ball after that, and they were just contented to play us on the counter. So even though we probably had possession, they stayed behind the ball well. Their defenders were resolute, Dice and
Yeah, Dice was also the goal scorer. Dice and Doyle.
And Doyle, they were resolute. One of the time when we attacked, we could see the 4 defenders and the winger filling their full spaces. So they had like 6 in the back line. I mean, it was really difficult to try and break them down. But you
missed a couple of chances as well.
No, we missed out. Yeah, but they were determined. They didn't have any points, and the coach did what he has to do, and the players responded to him very well. So it could be that Dunbeholden is gonna be coming back. A renewed team. Remember last year they were in the top 6, so they're not a bad team.
Yeah.
I believe that Dunbeholden is in the top 3 best team on paper. So
and they have a new coach out there in forget his name.
It's Harold Thomas is there.
Harold Thomas, right? And Anthony Patrick is at Molynes.
Correct.
Right. So just for you, because I think last week we did say that Molynes changed your coach. What I understand is that, well, they did change the coach, but one has been promoted to technical director. And so, all right. You're back, Mr. Pryce.
I have to correct you. That's not true. The coach is not there.
Yes, I'm going to switch to the laptop. So I was using the phone while I switched. Was on the road.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So the chairman of Molynes just came out and said the coach was the Calvert Fitzgerald is now the technical director, and Anthony Patrick is the head coach. So you're saying that is not the case?
No, I think he was offered the position, but he didn't accept.
Oh, he didn't accept it. Okay. All right. Mr. Pryce, any thoughts on the game? I think we're asking you about the Harborview Molynes game. What are your thoughts on that game? And then
obviously not just from the scoreline, the Harborview outfit, from what I saw, were more organized in terms of tactically. Sharper, were really quicker, smoother in the game. You could see a clear pattern of thought. You could see a lot of planning in terms of, and even Ludlow came at the end and sort of hinted at some of the things that they would have pre-planned. I think Mount Pleasant took too long to react, after seeing what was happening in the game. And Young Chung, he's going to be a handful. I mean, really an impressive player. And I think his pace and how wily he was created some problems for the Mount Pleasant defense. And we know how the pace is at the back of the Mount Pleasant defense right now. So, I think it was well deserved.
Yeah, and what the pace is like? What is the pace like? Because I don't think there is any pace, but you can tell me what the pace is.
well, there you go. So, yeah, man, a younger, more organized than the day, and more clinical as well. And I think Harborview was a well-deserved victory.
And what about the Dunbeholden? Dunbeholden won, Cavaliers 0. Andre Dice in the 5th minute.
As you saw, even how Cavalier conceded, well organized in the box, but somehow the back post man just missed the marker there, because when I looked at the replay, even I didn't look at it live, but when I look back at the replay and look how they were organized in the box, that's the white shirts. It was difficult for you to see what zone Dunbeholden would score through. But just probably a little lapse in concentration at back post. And as Mr. Speid said in the post-match interview, that early goal, forced them to sort of be pushing, maybe not in the way that they had planned to initially. I think Nikai Christian made a big difference in the game, dictated things. But outside of the one goal, I mean, Cavalier didn't get back the goal. But looking at this, I just think based on what took place with Dunbeholden, because for me, assessing the league so far, I don't see any major gaps with the teams. I don't see any big gulf between all the teams that I've seen so far. There are some people a little bit more technically better, playing more cohesively, but generally, anybody who comes on the day with the right mentality, I think, can get a result. And I think Dunbeholden psychologically saw this game as a game that they had to win. I mean, on paper, they have one of the biggest squads in the Premier League. So I think, just the mental side of the thing push them over the edge against Cavalier. And of course, Cavalier is Cavalier, youthful, well coached, playing organized. But kudos to Dunbeholden for the victory.
Yeah. So Mr. Speed, who was responsible for that zone?
For what? The laps?
For the zone.
We know it was your own team start this week, but that's how it goes.
Hey, so you can imagine if Mr. Speed wasn't the coach. 4 coaches would have gone this weekend.
Oh yeah. No. That's it. I'm wondering, depending on the results, if he could be the next one to go. Yeah, that's
exactly. And we have to think about it. Who is going to be the 4th because 3 gone.
You have to be careful. The league is so different. No, you can't afford to lose 2 games in a row because you could be out of a job. I think, but
and it's so funny. It's so funny, if I may, state it, that you cannot be relegated. So I would want to think that you have room, to lose or to adjust. That's one. Number 2, it's a truncated season. You just started. Not the ideal preparation that you could say. In fairness to the coach would have had his 3 months whatever. And I mean, it's very serious. It's all in the game of football, though. We know that from an international level, and I don't think we are spared that. But really and truly, they seem premature to me. But every club has their own ambitions and what their goals are. And I guess people doing what they have to do.
Well, Mr. Pryce, the truth is, David, is that this season I've never seen 3 coaches get fired after 2 full rounds. I mean, I can't ever remember ever seeing that. Maybe 1, but not 3, which means that maybe the owners are the people who have the power to fire. We're not necessarily looking for the victory because there's teams that have done worse that is not fired. But maybe what they are looking at is the progression and looking into the future and saying, well, maybe this is not the person that carry me in the future. Because I don't think the firing has anything to do with the results that got over the period. I just don't believe so. I think there's a critical assessment of the coaches, what he's trying to do. Maybe some of them, based on some whispers, some of the coaches using too much, we call older players, and they look at the teams that doing well and say, well, hold on, but those teams using young players, so what is going to happen in 2-3 years' time? That is one of the feelings that I'm getting.
Yeah, well, as I said before, each club you run 1 year.
Oh, we lost Mr. Pryce again. Look like his phone battery died. But that is
so
true.
we can go to the next day. We have nothing to go on.
Yeah, the next game is Waterhouse versus Veer. That was a 0-0 game. Donavon Duckie, who is supposed to be, and he did it again. He get a result beyond all odds. I'm telling you, people don't give this guy any props, But the man got a result when people thought he was going to lose.
Well, I must tell you that Duckie is one of the best defensive coach in the country. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if you hear he relates to defense, him tell you, oh, I can defend in the opponent half, I can make a pass, I can make a down pass. But he's a master at conducting team to play without possession. Look how remarkable this is. He has 5 points. I think he's in 3rd or 4th position, one of those, right? And his team has only scored 1 goal, and he's right up here. Can you imagine that? So just to give you an idea of what he does, and some of the time when I look at the Waterhouse team trying to break down where, I mean, it was like they're looking at a wall there that they're trying to break down. So I think he has done magnificently well with our Veer team. I know for certain that whosoever is complaining about preparation time, he has at the least preparation time.
Preparation time, yeah.
So
5 points, no goal conceded. so far, and they are in fourth position. So good start to the season. And the truth is, I think Kadeem Davis and Ricardo Campbell are the two major additions, and Dennis that they had. Most of the, and well, they also added this guy who was at Arnett Gardens, Neil. But most of the players are players that they struggled with the last time the league. That's the amazing thing, because he's taking players that they struggled with in the the season that ended prematurely, and he's getting this kind of result with them. So it speaks to him again. I thought the Waterhouse team also looked well. I don't know, based on what I've seen so far, I think they're missing center forward. Like they're missing someone who can score the goals for them. I know they have this guy named Rushian Sharp. I don't know if he's the most clinical in front of goal, and Fletcher. And I think they played well. Veer played well, but Waterhouse, that is a department that I think they need to address. I don't know if you see it that way, but maybe it's a general thing in the league, because only 17 goals have been scored so far in like 15 games.
Yes, it's gonna take some time for people to work out how to score goals. I thought the Owell brothers did very well in the game. They are good players, extremely talented players. But I must tell you though that teams are much more technically equipped now to defend properly, and I'm thinking that is the reason why you're not seeing a lot of goals. People are getting shots, but not good looks are missing, except for the Arnett Garden game. Arnett Garden have won a lot more goals. But no. They'll get there. Russian Sharp was a good marksman, and they also have other players in their ranks who can score goals. So I expect Waterhouse. Waterhouse is just warming up, actually.
You believe so?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, but I know that I think that they missed, because one of the things that happened to them is that Campbell, who is their young right back, he was substituted. I think he had an injury, and he was moved. He was taken out, and then they moved Ricardo Thomas to the right back, and they brought in someone else. And I think that may have destabilized how they were setting up to play and thing. But let's see what is going to happen with them this week. But that was indeed a very good game. All right. Okay. We have about Mr. Speid. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to get back Mr. Pryce, because he's trying to get back on. So let me just send him. Here you go. Yeah. So that was a good game. Good game to watch. Though it was a 0-0. I think the quality of the football was very good as well. I don't know, but I think the wind affected the play at Stadium East for all the games. I find that it wasn't that windy, or it isn't that windy at the Captain Horace Burrell Center as well. You were there, Mr. Speid. What are your thoughts? All right, look like we're having some connection issues, so let us sort out these things, and then we will have Mr. Pryce and Mr. Speid. It's a busy day as we analyze the games in the Premier League. So let me go over them again. Those we have discussed so far: Portmore 1, Moulins 0, Harbourview 2, Mount Pleasant. Let me give it in Portmore. Damano Solomon scored in the 6th minute of added time. Harbourview defeated Mount Pleasant by 2-0. Kwaso Chang scored in the 28th minute, and Lennox Russell scored in the 58th minute. Dumbeholden 1, Cavaliers 0. Andre Dye scored in the 5th minute. Waterhouse and Veer ended 0-0 after 90 minutes. Good game though, good quality game. Though the game ended 0-0. All right, and the final game of the week was the Monday game, and on that Monday game, Arnett Gardens defeated Humble Lions by a goal. A
No,
goal.
2-1.
2 goals to 1. Yes.
That was a game that I actually watched. And I must tell you that it could have been a bigger margin. Arnett Garden missed a lot of really easy goals that I thought they should have scored. But you know, there was a lot of drama in that game. Vishna Laris,
Yes.
Arnett
Arnett
Garden
Garden.
hitman, was on the board. Arguably the best in former years, the best attacking midfielder we have in the country. He reacted to a ball with his experience. He scored first.
Yeah.
Then Arnett Garden equalized, and then you know they have Arnett have a very good player by the name of Cephas. He was playing on the flanks. Yeah, very impressive. Missed a lot of goals, but then they switched him to centre forward, and he was able to use his pace and get to a cross and finish with a plumb. So that was how Arnett Garden took the 3 points from Umberland, who is now losing their third games in a row. Right.
Will the coach go? Or will he go to the end?
No, that's why I'm telling you that I think my theory is correct. It's more a futuristic changes. If they believe that you're going to be carrying your team forward now in the next year or years to come, you're not going to get sacked. It's really a case of futuristic changes. It's not the results. I don't believe it's the results.
Okay, because I thought the Arnett Garden team, they created a lot of opportunity. This Ronaldo Cephas guy really played well. I can't remember ever seeing him in the league. This is the first time I'm seeing him in the league.
Right, but you know, I must tell you, this player journey is storied. He was at Moulins first. You see, I want you to follow me now. How come that player was at Moulins and didn't end up in the senior team? You're following the drift now?
Yeah.
So he was at Moulins, never end up in the senior team, and he end up at Arnett Garden, and he's probably, one of the star attackers there. So that means somebody must have dropped the ball somewhere else. And that is one of the reasons why I tell you why I think the changes are being made. It's not anything to do with the results.
That people are not
hint.
People are not investing in the youth. The next coach is not investing in the youth is one by he coaches the Lions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Mr. President.
Let me apologize for the in and out. I was trying to switch to the laptop. You have to look as well, and as I said before, each team has its own philosophy and what their ethos is in terms of traditionally the Cavalier, the Harborview, the Portmore youth transition into leagues abroad. That was always the ethos. A team like Humble Lion has never really been a youth-oriented program. I mean, if one or two youngsters played for that team, yes, but to be fair, they have never been one of the proponents of youngsters. So traditionally, Humble Lion would have been one of the average older teams throughout their existence in the Premier League. So, and I don't think youth selection will affect the coach going or staying at Humble Lion. It's just that it's a very demanding environment because of the sort of investment they make in certain types of players, and as such they expect results. And that is where the thing. Look at the thing. The three coaches that are gone were coaching three teams which predominantly use older players. All the teams that using young players given time.
The coaches.
Yes, but the three teams that have lost their coaches so far, because these teams invest in these older players for instant results. They want success. So if the coach is not delivering with these experienced players, well, in the case of Moulins, Mr. Speid just mentioned the sort of issue there.
Mr. Pryce, one sec.
Patrick will bring in the youth.
One sec. Mr. Speid, I'm muted because the AC in the car, it goes into the phone. So I'm muted until you speak here. All right, go ahead, Mr. Pryce. Finish up.
No, man. So I'm just saying, with Moulins though, it is clear that the ownership wants some youth in the team, but apparently the former manager was a pro adult or older players, and Mr. Speed started hinted to that with Cephas because Cephas is a tremendous player. Shouldn't be allowed to leave any team, and to know that he ended up in the ranks at Arnett, could have gotten about 3 goals on match day 3. But he's a really a good player.
Yeah. I think Arnett Cavaliers and probably Harborview have the 3 youngest team in the league, because that Arnett Garden team seemed to be a very young team. Even the guy who scored the goal in the 14th minute, the John I. Cunningham, seemed to be a new player next, young player again. That's his name. And very good goals.
And they have this guy, Barnes, the number 9 up front, was at Portmore last season. He's an Axel man from Anata Bay.
Right, yes.
He was in the under 23 setup. Young Shadian Lopez was with JC over from the east side as well. He's also with the Arnett setup. So, I would dare say it's just that Cavaliers came back. So Harborview and Portmore, as teams who would have been established in the league, would have been setting a template. But Speed, this is what you can't take from Speed. Speed is one of them who went all out, willing to take the risk with 90% youth, at times 100% youth. And I think, but it's a good year to do that. I don't know why you wouldn't want to try that this season, based on what you can't drop out. So I don't see why you would use the youth.
Money. Yeah. Maybe some person.
No, but using the youths, save your money. Also, a couple of new stars are being born, which is what the league needs. New stars, This is will be the most watched league we have ever had since the inception of Premier League. Why? Because you have all of the games is in full on the internet. So people are watching them, the bloggers coming in talking about them. It's a televised event. People are at home. All of the games are filmed. They are on, they are recorded. So this is the time to create stars and to really make the league be bigger and better.
Yeah, and that is it. But you have to be willing to take the risk. As managers and owners of the teams, you have to take the risk. And I think
there's no risk now. You won't get relegated.
True.
Mr. Speed, 3 coach lose their job. Remember, there's no risk. 3 coach gone.
Risk to the coach, not to the team. Because the team is not getting relegated, and you have to understand. So listen, that was what we put to the JFF, to say JFF, we prefer to invest in our youths than to invest in infrastructure to keep the team in Premier League. Because if you ask us if we are going to be getting relegated, we're going to use the people who will not get us relegated. But if you decide that we're not going to get relegated, then we'll invest in the youth to build the stock, build your brand, so you'll have much more better young players to choose from in the future. So that was the deal, and that is why the JFF agreed.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Mr.
Speed? No, man. That as I said before, it's a wonderful platform, especially because it is televised and there is a lot of reach now. It opens up the market in a way. One time it was one game, a Monday night game, and it opens up now the market in a way that once these youngsters are up to it, they have the opportunity to be showcased. And the reality of it is that Mr. Speed will tell you, Mr. Stennett, the reality of it is that the age group that will matriculate to overseas, the overseas market not looking at certain age groups. So as I said before, the teams that continue to proliferate with the older players, the objective must be that they are trying to win. But the irony of it is that the youngsters overall, by and large, look better. The youngsters look better as a unit, so far.
But let me tell you what, and you know that is so important. But Mr. Speed said this a few weeks ago. He says that, and many people probably don't agree with him. He said he would rather sell 4 players overseas than to win the league. Right?
Did I say 4? I think I did say 1.
What? What?
But Stennett, you are involved with the game, and at whatever level you know how this thing works. There's no profitability from winning the league, you know. So your only profit must be to sell. If it's a real business, there's no business in the league in terms of recouping what you would have spent on the league when you win the prize money. So the league must be used as this avenue so that you can get the players showcased and sell even one, as Mr. Speed said, because some people have illusions that because you see 7 outstanding players in a team, 7 of them go matriculate and get contracts overseas. You have 1 million players that they're competing with, so you sell one, you're lucky. So I am for that from the standpoint of a business, but if you view it as a coach, then the spectrum becomes different because based on the environment, when we're doing coaching courses, they speak a lot about the environment. Based on your coaching environment, the priorities are different. So you might be coaching to save your job, which as Mr. Speed just said, you might not want to take the risk with the youngsters. Whilst you might go in a program that says, listen, I want as much youngsters to be exposed as possible because our ultimate goal is getting them out there. So stay in the league and keep the youth them playing, and that is your job. Then you can operate. So we have to look at the context in which all of these organizations are operating within the league.
Yeah. All right, well said. All right, let me give you so that is round 3. So let me give you the point standing after round 3. We have Portmore in first place and 6 points. Harborview, in fact, you know what? Let me put it up so we can hopefully you guys can see it as well, because we can do it this week. Yeah. Oh, you have it already?
Yeah, I have it too. But put it up for the viewers.
Yeah. So let's. All right, you're seeing that, right? Oh, all right. So you see it, right? It's kind of small, right? So we have Portmore in first place. They have 6 points, right? And then Harborview, second place, and 5. I think we want to make sure, right? That's what we have.
Waterhouse are 3rd and 5 as well.
Right.
Jamalco are Veer
and 5 as well.
They are in 4th position, and then Cavalier 5th with 4 points. You have three teams with 4 points: Cavalier, Tivoli, and Mount Pleasant, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Arnett and Dunbeholden 3 points.
3 points.
Mullines 1 point, and Humble Lions not off the mark as yet.
Not off the mark as yet. All right. No surprise. It's really still early. I think after this week, which is the 4th week, is when you begin to look, and I think the table is going to start taking shape. Mr. Speed, you are here. Are you satisfied with your position?
No, but but that's where I am. And you know, one of the things Mr. Pryce was just talking about coaching environment. One of the problems that we have as coaches that when somebody asks us to come to the job, we just ask them for the balls and the cones, and we just start coaching. And we don't even have a clue.
Vision.
I'm not talking about Premier League alone now. Where the team want to go. So if we're invariantly now you and the management catch up because where they want to go is so much different from where you want to go. But the other point also is that a lot of coaches don't realize that the league teach you a lesson. So the league has been teaching me my lesson that I know where I need to improve on, and it's something that we just have to work on and come again. So at this particular point now, the lesson is not complete because it's still 3 rounds. I think after about 5 rounds, then you'll start to see the lesson. The truth be told, in a truncated season like this, then you need to learn even faster. So you're probably right for 3-4 games, as you suggested, but the league will teach you a lesson and you have to know what to do in the running. So that's where I'm not satisfied, none at all. No.
Yeah, I think like Humble Lion, given what I've seen, they are going to struggle to get up into a top 6 from where they are at. So 3 games, if you lose your first 3 games, the task become extremely difficult.
Not really, no. Not really, no. Because if Cumberland win the next 2 games, then they're right in a top 6.
And that's what that's what I'm saying, Management, and also Speedy, that really, and if you're fair, I'm saying I look at Waterhouse. I think Waterhouse look good, looked imperious to a level. Portmore in the Lions game, that game could have easily finished 8-2, based on how Portmore were fluent. But generally, when you look at the games on the day, there is no big gulf, which means that Humble Lion got some chances in all the games that they played. Had they capitalized on any one of those? Well, barring the fact that Mount Pleasant missed 2 penalties against them. So I'm saying taking one chance can be the difference between losing and winning based on how the ebb and flow of the game goes. Andrew is very experienced in terms of, and he has an experienced bunch of players. And
that is the problem though, because like the problem I believe is that when you are older, it's harder for you to get into good physical condition. Like I think younger players get fitter faster and stay fitter longer than older players, which I think is a problem Andrew Pryce is having now.
Yeah, but and again, with them coming on with the fitness, because he said they started the 16th of June. So then today would make 1 month since they have started preparation, according to what Andrew said. Coming on, they're still not being blown out of the park. They're still being competitive and getting fitter. The table is not so far. There's no runaway team. As Rudolph Speid said, if they win the next 2 games and you look, their next game is Veer, that is a Clarendon derby, either way. Yeah, because when you talk about a derby, you throw farm out the window. It's a derby, it's a Clarendon derby, it could go either way. So they play Veer next, and then they play Portmore. Portmore lost to Veer. So what we're saying is, as Speedy said, 2 win, and they're back in the top 6, just like that.
All right. We will see. Well, let me just run through. So we also do started this new aspect of the show where we do a team of the week. I would have sent it to you guys' phone so you have it, because we're not able to put it on the screen yet. Hopefully next week you can do that. But in goal, I have Kadeem Davis of Veer, because 1 more clean sheet for him. I don't know any other goalkeeper stood out for you over the run that you think would have been a better option.
No, he's probably the best keeper in our league anyway. Based on what I've seen so far, he's one of the reasons why Veers where they are is difficult to beat. And I say extremely difficult to beat from any range or distance, close range. You have to be at your best to beat him, and that is one of the reasons why I think Veer is the team that's gonna shock everybody and perform beyond expectation. He well deserved that position.
Okay.
I think Faster, but Faster never had much to do, but Faster made an important save. So if we were putting subs on the bench, probably would put Faster. Well, for me, because he came up in a game that you don't have much to do, and the coaches will tell you this. In a game as a goalkeeper, when you don't have much to do, you have one important save to make that you must make. And he came up big when they got a 1-on-1 to keep Portmore in the game at that time. So, but Kadeem by far, and I agree with you, Mr. Speid.
Yeah. All right. And we're using 4-4-2. We can always switch and change up the formation over the week to one that you guys.
All right, so 4-4-2.
That is old school.
Well, Mount Pleasant played 4-4-2, so
I just felt like the midfield. What happened to me is that I felt like the midfield player was so good and we don't have a lot of good forwards that played over the weekend. So I figured that
you don't put 5, you can put 5 in the midfield. 4-5-1-3-4-3, whichever.
Could have done that. Yeah. Could have done that. But I have at centre back, I have the Portmore Damano Solomon, because he scored and I think he played well, along with Ricardo Campbell of Veer, because I think he was very instrumental in setting up and keeping the Veer team You know, he led as a captain, one more clean sheet for them. He managed the defense. The defensive line wasn't broken a whole lot in the game that they played. So I have him and Damano Solomon as the two center backs. Anybody you have that? I mean, because we can always change them.
I have Campbell there, but I would put the captain from Dunbeholden for this round. I mean, just because Dice took a card that I did think he never have to take. But Dice scored as well as a centre back. But I think the centre back for Dunbeholden, the captain, Shaquille Dyer. He would make my team for this week alongside Campbell.
Okay, I had Damano Solomon in mind because I think he scored that goal in the
in the 98th minute.
Yeah. Mr. Speed, who do you have in your centre back for this round?
Well, I wouldn't have Campbell because I just thought why him look so good. He marshaled the defense, but the outstanding plays from him were few and infrequent. I just thought that he marshaled defense, but because of the tactic that they employed, it's pretty much the boss for long periods. It's just a matter of keeping in shape, not him physically doing anything out of the way. So I'll go with Shaquille and Solomon.
And Solomon, okay. Somebody, when I sent it out, somebody said to me, "What about I'm missing out on Talbot from Harborview?" But maybe if we had a bench, he could.
Yeah. Thomas,
yeah.
Oh, you did well also, Talbot. He's in the conversation, yes.
Yeah. All right, at right back, Yemenis, that youngster from Harborview. I think he played well. Yeah. I think he played well. At right back. And anyone else come to mind?
No, I would have gone for James from Dunbeholden. I think he was able to keep my left wingers. I would have gone for James, and I mean, you might not be watching him. You know, he was a lot of the time he was bombing forward too. He was one of the runners whenever they tried to come forward. So I would have gone for James.
And James is one of the ones who have stayed with the team. He has always been one of their outstanding players because we were scouting that player. So I know a little about him. I saw Fuzzy using the left back playing right back. He never did too badly. Almost scored. That's
Richard Thomas.
Richard Thomas. Yes, yeah. But I could go with James.
I didn't have him in mind because he started out playing left back. The player Campbell got injured.
He started playing right back.
No man.
Richard Thomas started at right back.
Right.
And then started at left back.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then one got injured and he moved them over to the other side. So that is why. Yeah. But he had a good game as well.
Yes. Because my left back is Kimani, the same one that got injured. He would be my left back for the week.
Oh, I had Emilio Russell from Portmore. Who you have, Mr. Speed?
No, Romeo Russell don't play left back. He plays left stopper.
Oh,
they play 3 man. It's a 3-man system there.
Okay. I see. All right. So we'll remove Emilio Russell and put in, who you said, Mr. Pryce, Campbell from Waterhouse.
I got Kimani. Yeah, I would go with Krakow. But even though I got injured and he almost scored too, was very good. Very good.
No,
a good
but
game.
It is if you
didn't get that first Speed.
You're mute. Just take it off mute and go ahead, Mr. Speed.
You're not mute. Hearing you know. I'm going to dial in again because I'm not hearing you.
No, go ahead. We're hearing you now.
No, I am not hearing you.
All right.
What was the question?
All right. No, you were talking about the left side.
The left
back. Yeah.
No, I'm saying it could be Russell. Russell is a natural, genuine left back. So if there's a toss-up, you could still give him a nod because actually he occupies that space in defense when the defense line shuffle across. So having him there, it wouldn't be a big issue in my mind if you choose.
Okay. All right. So in midfield, here is the 4 that I chose. Like I said, I chose 4-4-2. Maybe you guys can tell me what formation we're going to use as we discuss this in the week.
Formation.
Yeah, man. So I have Nikai Christian, Siegel Knight, Romano Howell, and Phillips from Phillips is Portmore as well. So I have
Phillips from Portmore.
yeah. So I have Howell from Waterhouse, Knight from Portmore, Nicar Christian from Dunby Holen, and Phillips from Portmore as well. That's the four I use in midfield.
I have Siegel. I have Siegel as the number 6, and I have Christian as the number 10. So
Yeah.
I am with you there. Inside the midfield, I think a couple of Abbeville players, the youngster named Williams, they started him at right wing. That's the one that put in the cross.
Right, for the first goal, yes.
Yeah, didn't do too badly. Yeah, so Howell constant threat in the game. I just think that in a game like this where they couldn't find the penetration, you know, you'd probably go with a team that managed to get something out there. So
Okay.
even Vishnal in a game that Humble Lion lost still managed to get on the scorecard as a midfielder. You know, I would more give kudos to them. Because if you are an attacking midfielder, you must break down the opponent, you know. But
Well,
Okay.
I don't know what
Vishnal wasn't playing midfield, you know. Vishnal was playing centre forward. The person who I would definitely put in a team like this would be Priestley. They call him Diamond from Abbeville. I think he's a very underrated.
Yeah,
He's the one who
Priestley,
pull all
he
the
played
things
well.
from- Yeah, I think he's him. He's the man. And eventually, he wasn't one of the team that scored 2 goals. So you have to give him a look.
right,
Yeah.
right. Which is yes, so that's what I'm saying. I definitely would go, you know. Somehow we miss Priestley in the game, but as I said
Really?
before,
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
because no, sometimes when you're watching a game like that, now that you have me on this program, I can watch it more objectively. But watching a game like that,
so
anyway,
we have
no,
Sigel
I
Knight,
agree. I agree.
we have Sigel Knight, Priestley, Nicar Christian, and who else makes it in the
Well,
midfield?
that would be a midfield, and then you look for a right wing and left wing and a centre forward. Isn't that
Okay.
right enough?
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
that's
He
the
want
more
to play 2 striker.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Let's go to more modern.
Yes.
So you could take maybe Guthrie from Arnett. He want to go two
No,
striker.
no. Guthrie would make the team. So we stick with that 3. So let's go up front now with 3, right? And I have Cephas, Chong, and which other forward we could go with to make it 3.
All right, so you have Cephas, you have Chong. I could have taken Russell, could have taken Lennox Russell because I think he had a good game against Mount Pleasant, apart from the goal. Lively caused problems, penetrative as well. Scored the TV people taking his goal as a goal of the round.
Russell.
So you could put Russell in there from Abbeville, Lennox Russell, along with Chong and Cephas.
Oh, that is the goal of the round.
That is what the broadcasters say.
Okay.
We can make our own determination, but that's what they
I thought the Cephas goal was a good build-up play from the Arnett Garden team. What are your thoughts, Mr. Speed? Who could we add to the forward line if we have Chong and Cephas? Or would you go with?
I mean, Russell is fine. I mean,
Okay.
I thought that the keeper was beaten at his near post and probably could have done it.
Exactly. And the defender actually slipped when the ball came over. Just before he got the ball, the right back actually slipped, which gave him the room.
But Russell control was good.
That's where we're going, Speed. The right back slipping is his issue. Russell still have to take care of the ball and put it in the net.
And
if the goalkeeper beating on his front post, still his issue. Russell have to get the ball and target.
He did everything right. He beat the player, the first defender, and then he beat the keeper. And he got a long searching ball in the breeze over the top, and he controlled it too. So you have to give him the props for all 3.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. So our starting 11 would be Campbell goes out, so Solomon and Dice. Dwyer.
Solomon and Dwyer. Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we have at right back, we have it was between Jimenez and James. So we go with James. At left back, we say Emilio Rosso. In midfield, we go Siegel Knight, Nicar Christian, and
Priestley.
and Priestley, and up front we have Cephas,
Chung and Russell.
Quessa Chung and Lennox Russell. All right, good team. Good team. All right. What are your thoughts about this weekend fixture? The first game will be big game. One team coming off a victory, one team coming after a defeat. Coach could be in some problems if he loses for the second week in a row. The verdict is
Which
out.
coach?
Yeah.
You know, there's a coach sweating.
Pastor, so man is bad. You know what is unique about the three of us on this screen is that all three of us would have coached in some environments that we can't get fired.
Yeah, there you go. That's a very good point. Maybe this is not a good group to have because these are people who can't get fired. We don't know what it is to be fired.
No, but I can tell you another coach who can't get fired too. Ludlow Bernard can't get fired.
Okay.
Yeah, I know he can.
All right.
Well. Let's speed. Talk to us. Yeah, first you are one of the teams. How you look towards this game?
Well, I mean,
1 o'clock.
I watched the game back against Dunbowling, and the truth is, we had possession, and the game, a fair result would have been the draw, to be honest. So when I look at it, I said I can't be too hard on my team, but I did change up the team a little for this game. I look at the Hornet Garden team and I realize that they are very young. They with that youngness allow them not to play with any fear. They don't play with any fear, and it could really help them a long way if you're a team that don't play with any fear. Coming off a win, they'll be in a better mood than the Cavalier team, and we probably will be a little bit nervous trying to make sure we don't lose 2 games in a row and get the coach fired. So to me, it's gonna be an exciting game because of the qualities that both teams have, and as I say, there is no big difference between all the teams, so it could go either way.
2 CONCACAF B license coach going up against each other.
Well, Hornet Garden actually have 2 big CONCACAF B license coach in their ranks. We only have 1 at Cavalier.
Who done the Alex and who?
And Peart. Peart give them technical advice, yeah.
Okay.
They have 2. And Peart is and why Peart is there so dangerous is because he's the one who just looks and advises. So it's a good look.
Right.
He might not be on the bench, but it's a good look, and he can be more dangerous because he'll be seeing things that the coach on the bench won't be seeing. So I think that's one of their strengths.
I think this is going to be a good game just because of how the teams play. They like to attack. They're very young. And so I think it's going to be one of the better games of the round.
And goals will be in it. Goals will be in it.
This game could finish 3-2.
Well, we have not had 3 goals by one team in a game yet.
Yeah.
So
and only one player has scored 3 goals. Everybody else is 1.
So 15 games played and just 18 goals. So maybe this is the game to, because I don't see none of these teams low block.
Exactly.
None of these that DNA is not in this. None of these teams. So they are going to be pushing tactician against tactician. I don't know whose maths going to work with them, but I expect goals in it. Probably 2-2. Probably 2-2, as you said, 3-2 is 3-2. Would be understand. So who going to win 3-2? Who going to win 3-2?
You want to answer?
I don't think you're going to see any 3-2. I don't think. Remember, I tell that the league teach me a lesson. So far, we're conceding too much 2 from 3 games, so we have to look a bit tighter. Although I agree with you that it won't be a low block or even a half block team.
You don't play so, Mr.
Right, the team's gonna be going at each other, but I might have to use different defensive tactics, right? But I am mindful that we probably need to tighten up a little at the back.
Yeah, and I think one of the good. I know Thomas was out for your last game. And so I hope you know he
Thomas
has
was
recovered.
out with a little, yeah, he has trained the whole week, so he'll be back in the leading the attack. So yes, we
Because I
have him.
think he was missed.
My only challenge is the time.
Oh, it's a 1 o'clock game because somebody said that the game should be played later, 5 to 7. But
Yeah,
I
my
think
only challenge is the time and how they're going to manage the conditions with the 1 o'clock sun. And where's the game, Mr. Speed?
as captain.
Right, which
Oh, okay.
which a lot of times, even at 1 o'clock, because of the location, there's this overcast
Right.
condition.
And it's less windy than down by Stadium East.
Yeah, much less, yes.
Yeah.
So,
So
interesting.
on the turf should be a nice game.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The
I
second.
still see 2 goals in it for each team. If Mr. Speed don't want to take any fine, but I see 2 goals in it for each team.
Yeah. Yeah. That I think I can see 4 goals being scored in this game. I mean,
Let's hope so. Let's hope it's 3-1 somewhere.
Yeah, and then we have Harborview versus Dumbleholden. That's our next good game.
Let me go first. There's no love lost there. If you knew that Earl Thomas used to be coach at Harborview.
At Harborview, yes.
And when he left,
it was not pretty.
Right.
I remember that. Yes.
There's no love lost there. So, again, as I said, still coach need to understand that, you know, if they get fired, they shouldn't take it personally. It's because of something. But I think this one is gonna be, but it could play in Harborview hands because Harborview is lively. They know what they want to do. They are very enterprising. I've seen them starting teams without no player on the right side, just leave it blank. So, you know, you have to be very careful. They're not going to be. There's no one tactic that they can employ to beat you, and that is why they are so excited and good. So, I believe that Dunbar is a slightly older team. Harborview going to be going after them. One of the things unique about Harborview.
Oh, look like the internet. Mr. Pryce, you want to talk about Dunbar? What?
Yeah, I think
to have Cap, who has been playing for about 6 years now. So there's a lot of experience right in there, even although the captain is fairly young. So to me, it's gonna be a game that could go either way too. That's gonna be a difficult game to call.
All right, Mr. Pryce.
For me, I think Harborview have more of a rhythm now in terms of, you know, being with Bernard and sort of getting a feel of what exactly the coach wants from them. And as such, I think on the flip side, I mean, the win for Dunbar is more the psychology of it, you know, the new coach syndrome, you know, but it's not necessarily an imposition of the Thomas tactics as yet in terms of you're seeing Harold Thomas and the team so far. I think it's going to take more than 2 games to get them to that point. So I think on the basis of them being more settled, I favor Harborview in this one. Either Harborview to win or a draw. I don't think Harborview will lose this game.
That's a very good point you just made, because I'm saying when a coach comes in, like the first week you come in to coach, you're basically playing what the coach left. Now that you get the players for like a full week, what happens when you decide you're not going to play a particular player because he's not playing your style? It could be unsettling, like you said. I like that, because that's a good.
And it's still going to take whatever, no matter how, because there has to be change, and that's why the coaches change. Every coach, even if they're coaching the same system, bring a different dynamic to it. The management style, the how you relate to the players and so on. Players would have been used to the previous coach, and some players who maybe were the dominance in training, maybe you have a coach now who is going to subdue that. So as I said, there are a lot of things to work through as a new manager coming in. And I think the fact that Harborview are a little bit more settled in that regard should give them the edge. And Mr. Chung is an X factor. Mr. Chung, I think one of the hottest properties in the league right now, Mr. Chung.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Mr. Speid?
No. I mean, I just know that the Don bowling style is so difficult to beat. They will park the bus and don't care. They will play without the ball. I think Aral is going to be motivated to try and win this game. But I don't see above you losing. I don't see it in any way. It would have to happen first. I don't see them losing based on what I've seen so far in the season.
Let me just drop this comment so you can see it, Mr. Speed.
I
I
can't
think that
see
should be.
anything.
It says Double Hole looks like it's Cavaliers. I think it should be Boogie team.
Yeah,
Them
they have
always get.
beaten us. That's true. They have beaten us. We have played probably 6 times. We
They are
have
to,
won. We
they are
have
to
won.
you.
Yeah, we have won 2. They won 3 and 1 draw. So they are ahead of us, head to head.
But another fun fact, team is that a certain Harborview team beat Mount Pleasant 1-0 in the first game of the previous season, and a coach was sacked. And then another Harborview team beat a Mount Pleasant team 2-0 in the next season, and a coach was sacked. That's a fun fact for the for the viewers. When you talk about bogey.
It's a good thing Mount Pleasant doesn't have to play above you because my friend William
Yes,
probably going back to
so
England.
I am thinking, and you know that prior to that, Mount Pleasant had the number on Harborview when in the early stages when they just came
Yes.
into the league, went over there and beat them and so on. So yeah.
No, and again that's why I told you Ludlow Bernard is the change there. And he's still with above you now.
Yes.
You know what is funny, Mr. Speed? Don't be holding this to you what you are to Mount Pleasant.
No.
Well, nobody getting fired. Nobody getting fired.
Mount Pleasant have nothing in the win column against me. Nothing.
Okay. Whether we double
Cavalier is there, Bogut. Yeah, Cavalier is a little problem team for Mount Pleasant as well.
I'm telling you.
Either lose or draw.
Lose our job since they have been in
But
the league.
they're wounded, Mr. Speed. They're wounded, so you have to watch them this season. They're wounded.
Yes.
All right. The next game is the Clarendon Derby. Humble Lion. The Lions who I don't know who going to wake them up. 3 losses in a row. Versus Veer, undefeated, have not conceded a goal. Duckie versus Pryce. Donavon Duckie was also at Humble Lion. Players always move between these two clubs. This game could provide some drama, some excitement, and probably some of the kind of players that we don't want to see. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, so this is what I think now. Finally, Donovan would have seen a team that he believes he can compete with them on an even keel. Because remember, he's the cagey type, so he would have been cagey in his first 3 games and say, boy, maybe I can't compete with Waterhouse. Make sure I play appropriately, right? This team now from Umberland, I don't see him now sitting back. I think he's going to be more enterprising to say, well, I can take this team by just playing my normal game. And this is why now all of a sudden Umberland have an opportunity now to probably get the first point because it's not the same style. Umberland at the same time will be saying, well, Veer is not a scoring team, so maybe I could get them to and try to attack. So I am seeing a lot of attack from both of these teams thinking they can get the results, and that could make it interesting. I'm not thinking that you're going to have a lot of fouls and fight and those things because I think this year the referee has been kind of clamping down on some of those things. So I expect this is where, remember in a month, Umberland will not play the whole league and don't get a point. I don't see that happening. So this is probably one of their best chances for them to get it because Duckie will play them differently from how he has played the other teams.
All right, Mr. Pryce.
Yeah, well, I disagree with Speed. Duckie not going to change. And I'm telling you because that Duckie modus operandi is to be organized in the back and beat you on the counter. And you see, I spoke about Ireland Harborview. The coach don't want to lose to Umberland. And as I said,
That's not much I know.
as such, no undue risk will be taken. I think a set piece is going to decide this game. I think Beer will win 1-0. I think Beer
You know
will win
what?
1-0.
You can't tell that this man and Duckie are very good friends, you know.
I think Beer will win 1-0. Set piece. It's going to be a good game. It's a derby game, so this have nothing to do with farm. Teams going to give as much as they get. They're not going to be much in it. I just think a set play is going to determine what happens in this game. And I think Veer will win 1-0.
Well, one of the things that I noticed with both teams, too, David, is that there's an evolution in the Umberland team. Some of the players who started the first game, they're not playing anymore. So the Veer is more settled. You might be right. Who knows anyway what we're talking about? We're just talking. Anything can happen really. But I think that this is the time for Duckie to try and get a win. And I think it'll be a little more enterprising.
Yeah.
I didn't talk, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah. All right. So the fourth game, this is the last game on the Sunday. Mount Pleasant versus Mullines. You're laughing. Listen, this game is going to be funny, right? Because there are a couple of players who transferred from Mullines to Mount Pleasant, and then they move up from Mount Pleasant to Mullines. And I think Jamie Nelson, I think his name is, he's the captain. Jeremy Nelson. He's the captain, and so this is going to be, I think, an interesting game from that perspective, and also because the coach, the Mount Pleasant has had a change of coach. Word in the street is that the coach has changed, but the coaching has not changed, because if it were based on performance, this is the person who is actually coaching the team now. You understand me? So, but I don't know, so I'm not going to get into that.
Let's put it how we can put it. The real change, I think, is at Mullines in terms of the psychological effect, coaching wise. There's not a new coach at Mount Pleasant. The new coach is at Mullines, and as such, it may impact how Mullines function in this game, because all of us here know that Patrick plays a completely different style than Fitzgerald, and Patrick is primarily a 3 in the back man. And coaches have their styles. We just spoke about Duckie. Patrick the same. They have them trademark system that worked for them from schoolboy. He was in the final of the Premier League against Montego Bay with Waterhouse. So again, it is how quickly these teams adapt, but you have the new coach syndrome as well. So Mount Pleasant coming off a 2-0 loss, not much change in terms, as I said, the coaching, even though some personnel changes have been there. Mullines now with a new coach, losing in the last minute at the last game. Players now want to impress the new manager. It makes for an interesting fixture, and honestly, I don't know what to call this one. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I think on quality, Mount Pleasant should have enough quality to get the win. And that's where I would tilt to Mount Pleasant for this game. I think there's more quality in the Mount Pleasant ranks to get a win from this game, But let's see what the coaches do.
Mr. Speed, go ahead and
right. What you're saying about pound for pound, quality, experience, etc. Mount Pleasant has the edge. What I don't know if they're going to be bringing back some of those players that were not in the setup. Remember, a couple of players had dropped out. There's whispering that like a Fletcher might be back. They didn't start
Benbow,
but when he came on, he was live. Yeah, he made a lot of difference.
Kevin
So the
Isaacs also was also on the bench.
right. So the truth is that they have cards. They can draw a different card and decide to come a little bit different from what they have been doing so far. I didn't see the player that was from Harborview, what his name, the little forward that came over from
Daniel
Harborview,
Green.
Daniel
Daniel.
Green.
So they have options. They can draw other cards that wasn't playing in the game against Harborview. And that is the reason why we can't write them off. There's at this particular time, I know Patrick will focus on Mount Pleasant's strengths and weakness and try to break them down. He's gonna do that. That will give the players a little fillip to say, oh, so we have a coach now where things like this, and they want to impress him. But I still, as Pryce said, I have Mount Pleasant as a favorite based on the amount of cards that they can really put into the difference that they can make in the game by just starting a couple of different people. So I have to give them the edge.
And I don't know. I know that they had a couple of overseas players. I think out of Guyana, and I heard that they were there and started training. Don't know if they're available.
Yes.
But
They are. I think they are back now based on some scouting reports. So you might see a different combination in the back.
yeah, and I know the
of Mount
goalkeeper.
Pleasant.
There's also a goalkeeper from Guyana as well.
Guyanese, right,
Yeah.
right. So the point is, as I said before, the quality is what, as Martin just says, it's not likely, Martin, that they are going to play differently in terms of style or what we saw. But I think they will get more out of this game. At this stage, Mullines is no Harborview. I no disrespect to Mullines. It's just we're watching the football and we're speaking how we see it. And I think that is where, Mount Pleasant will impose themselves. Look for Jeremy Nelson a lot because, of course, as I say, he's going to. But especially if Mount Pleasant play the four-man midfield, they're going to crowd him out. It's going to be difficult for him to dominate if they play the 4-4-2. So Mullines would have to look to the flanks to try to get anything out of this game, and I don't see them for this game. I give Mount Pleasant the edge.
Yeah, man, and me too. But let me say, because I don't know if it is me, Mr. Speed. Maybe I can respond to this. I feel like 4-4-2 is an old coach formation. Like I can't tell when last I see like one of the younger coach, either at the international level or even at the top. We are talking about top clubs. Play 4-4-2. It may work out, but they will go like 4-1-4-1, some other variations. But I rarely see teams use 4-4-2. So I found it strange when Mount Pleasant in the last game used the two towers. I'd call them Swaby and Hall up front with a four-man midfield. Is that kind of formation is still effective in terms of allowing flank play? I don't know.
Well, the truth is, 4-4-2 is played in a variety of different ways. The Mount Pleasant chose one way. It could play with a diamond. It could play. It is played in a lot of variety of ways, right? So you could use 2-6. You could use 2-6 and 2-10. There's a lot of ways you can play it. You could do 1-6, 2-8, and 1-10. So there's a lot of ways. What I am being told by people who know a lot about football more than I do is that 4-4-2 is just basic. Whatever formation you use basic. It is let me find the right words and paraphrase it. It is an admission of the coaching staff when you use 4-4-2 that you don't have the players to play anything else. That's what I was told. Because nobody else play 4-4-2. All the top teams they find another with exotic players who can do certain things. So it's an admission on your team that you don't have the players to do what you want, why you would ever revert to 4-4-2. That's what I was told by the coaches.
Well, yeah, me chomping at the bit. The game has evolved in terms of, because 4-4-2 at times can be so predictable, it has forced coaches to change how they use systems. There's something that we learn, that there is no best system, but there's a best system for your team. There's no best system, but there's a best system for your team. And as such, if you look in your ranks, for example, and see a Swaby and a Kessler and Hall, that you believe should be on the pitch at one time based on the firepower that you can get from them, then you would set your system to accommodate strikers. When you're playing the 4-2-3-1, most of the times when you are defending, your shape can come back to be a 4-4-2. Again, Mr. Speid mentioned it's just a matter of personnel for the different positions because these are now specialist positions based on how you lay out the team. 4-4-2 give you an opportunity to have two players playing as a pair in every position except the goalkeeper. When you say in every position, the right back have a right winger, the two CDMs, you have two striker, and so on and so forth. So for me, I see it because so many coaches now have ignored the 4-4-2, and that's why Ranieri win the league with the 4-4-2, as somebody just alluded to. The coaches ignore the 4-4-2. Yes, Nakti, and believe that nobody not going to play it, so you plan for something else, and it becomes a surprise. But I think it's just using your team based on the personnel you have and finding the right system to fit that team. I am not here saying that that's the right system for Mount Pleasant, but I'm saying if you have two big strikers and you think that they should start in the game, then your system will have to accommodate two strikers in front of the goal. And probably that's the direction that Mount Pleasant went. And I will close on this for this point to say, remember the background of the coach as well. So, yes. So you have to also use that as a guide.
It's a pro-life coach formation, man.
No. But remember, if for some reason they didn't decide to start Benbow, then that could be one of the reasons why you want to use the twin tower. I mean, if that's and suppose
because if you use Benbow, coach, you're not gonna play a diamond. You have to now play a formation. So it's that means you would have to play the 4-4-2 like how Manchester United plays it with two wingers. So
right.
So that's why I'm saying, or you're going to revert to moving one of the strikers, maybe bring Kestler to one of the sides and have one of them as a point man. So it's all about who comes in and then what happens as a result of the changes that are made.
So which is why, David, I'm not wrong, I said the coaches that I speak to say is admit. Say have the players to play the more.
Okay, what? Yes, we went down the road to come back to the same place.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh, God.
There you go. I see somebody here, because we're getting into the wrap-up time on the general thing. So I see somebody here saying, there is no surprise ranking was so brilliant at Cavaliers and looking so out of sorts at Mount Pleasant. And that is
system
how I play.
Again. System again.
No, it's not just system.
No, man, system.
What is more important? Because what comes first? In other words, let me give it. Why I ask this question, because it's very important. When you are going to hire a coach, do you look at the players you have and make the hire, or you hire the coach and then begin to get players into the system to fit the coach's style?
No,
because,
it depends on context. Context again. If you hire a coach now, Patrick just come in. While he's there a while. What the new coach again? Harold Thomas just come in. The players are there already. And there's not a window for other players to come in. So most of the time you look for a coach who you believe, based on the personnel that you have, can manage the team, meaning that the personalities, the command, the respect, and so on, has enough experience to be able to adjust, because as I say, no coach should be playing just one system and can't change. That is long time coaching. So what we're saying now, right now, it is more of bringing in a coach when you already have personnel, as opposed to when this is finished now, then the coach himself can start to put his pieces together. But in the context of what we have now, you'd have to just bring in somebody to manage what you have. And this is why I'm saying now, the system may be new for ranking, maybe the role he's playing within that system. Speid had him in a freer role, a more Perlo type sort of situation. So it is left to, and remember as well, we talk about how we look at Cavalier and Mount Pleasant. Remember, so players lose form as well. No player as good as them is, only the best of the best maintain farm. So it's not beyond the fact that he could have lost farm as well. But we understand the point that you're making.
Yeah, but I know Mr. Speed not going to give us the secret to ranking on this platform, but he knows the secret. When he sold ranking, he kept the secret to get him to perform, and that is the problem. You guys should have bought the secret as well. You understand? But I know the secret, to get him to perform at the optimum level.
You can't say it yourself, but you're so close. You only bought the player.
They bought the player. I know
Rankins is a Mannings man like him, so he must know the secret. So he must know the secret.
Yeah.
Westman them.
Yeah, but the other game is like my surprise team is Tivoli Gardens. So it's Tivoli versus Portmore. I've been surprised by Tivoli. I didn't expect them to be doing as well as they are, but they are up there with a 41-year-old midfielder, a Barrington Pryce that have more weight than he's supposed to. And then they have a plethora of young new players. They're going up against a Portmore team that is playing some good football. Very good coach. Phillips is the new coach at Tivoli. Well, he was there the last time around.
No, not wouldn't say a new coach.
Yes.
But Philip Williams.
This is his first full year in the Premier League, though.
No. He was there last season.
No, man.
Yeah, man.
No, man.
But when he came on, they had a coach that went overseas, Edwards, and then he came to replace him.
No.
He's been there. He did the whole of last season, man. And Bailey was working.
An half season. Okay.
Bailey was working.
Okay. All right. So, I think this game is going to tie. I feel like this is going to be.
Well, before I say it, let me just kind of go back and tell you. If you look at the teams that have these veteran defenders in them, they're all doing well. Arborview, Veer, Dunbeholden, they're all doing exceptional. Waterhouse have this veteran defender.
Nikolai Finlayson. Let's call up the name. Arborview have Palmer.
Palmer.
Both of them.
And Talbot.
Because Talbot young but him experienced, yeah.
Dunbeholden have Dice and Dwyer.
And Dyer.
But even
oh yeah.
He mentioned Veer of Ricardo Campbell, and then the youngster that came up with Jamal Coe.
Lumsden.
Yes.
Lumsden.
And then which other team he mentioned?
The same team we're talking about.
Tivoli, Barrington Pryce.
Is there, and they have a young Penny Cook, but Barrington Pryce is there.
Barrington Pryce as the anchor.
Mount Pleasant have
Ladale,
Richie.
And then so the thing is though, Tivoli Phillips is a very good coach, young coach, and this is what is heartwarming for me to see that, one time I used to watch Premier League is Lenny Duckie, Harald, some big veteran, and when we talk, we know they are good coaches, but you're not seeing the young coaches breaking.
Bradley Stewart and all of them, man.
Yeah, man. When you watch Premier League, them coach control the spectrum. Now, younger coaches coming through, which is impacting how the league is being played because you see different ideas and stuff like that. I think Portmore have a groove. I think between just watching the 3 rounds so far, Waterhouse, Portmore looks to me the ones that are ticking. If they were putting away chances, especially Portmore, I think they would be ahead by miles in terms of goal difference and so on.
Yeah.
So I believe
that is true.
Yes, Tivoli now is a blend because the limitations, the funding not there to sort of infiltrate with the amount of players it might need. So it's a tactical game that will have to be played to contain this sharp Portmore team. But I think, Philip, you said it could be a tie or a close loss. Yeah. If it's not a draw, somebody's gonna lose close. I mean, normally for Premier League, English League and so on, I could easily call the games, and I normally get them right. But these games are hard to call. Because I tell you before, there is not much between the teams. It's who come and play. Yeah, man.
Mr. Speed, you were talking about the central defensive partnership throughout the league, the all defenders when you got cut off.
So they are very experienced, and they know the right lanes to block up. As soon as the players get a little bit more fitness, though, there'll be some runs that will create a lot of problem for these aging centre halves. But for right now, I think they are going to be doing well. They are very smart. They understand, what to do. And the players around them are responding to them based on what I'm seeing. The younger players who, responding. When it comes to Tivoli, though, I must say that's one of the teams that their fighting spirit is like second to none. So even if they don't have pound for pound players that you know of, they are going to be fighting to the end. It's something that is ingrained in them, and they are not easy. Now, I think they have also decided that Teddy, the 41-year-old that you talk about, what his role is. They don't expect him to run down anybody and tackle anybody and doing a lot of defensive work, but he's crafty, he's smart, so he'll move into dangerous positions and he can still use the ball very effectively at 41, and that is why they're so dangerous. He can come up with a play that you probably didn't see it coming based on his experiences, and his obvious quality from he was a younger player.
And so like I said, not going for a prediction. Like I said, close loss or a tie game. But I have someone have a question. I think the last time you were on, you brought up this player, Mr. Speid. So maybe don't know if you can see the question.
No, what's it?
When will Topi return?
Well, he told me he was coming back. I'm not sure. I'm sure he said in July here, late July. So we're waiting on him, but I'm not sure. He has some issues with his green card. He's starting out, so let's hope he'll be back. We're also waiting on Gibbons. Call him Billy. That's another player that should bolster around. So waiting on.
Man. You know who I have not seen?
What about Nicholas?
Nicholas Hamilton.
Yeah,
he's on contract.
He's in Canada.
No, man. I know he's not coming back. What's the status on him?
He's in Canada. I think he's not playing. I think he probably has an injury, but he's in Canada with his team.
Okay.
I haven't seen Trayvon Reed at Tivoli this season.
Well, he's overseas. He's still with Tivoli. There was a rumor that he was gonna change club, but he didn't. He's still with Tivoli. He's registered, so you could see him anytime now.
Okay. All right. So those are the games for this week, and that means that Waterhouse gets a break this weekend. And like I said, we touched on this earlier about the coaches being sacked, so we don't have to go over that again. And so if you have any questions, you can throw them into the comment section and we'll bring them up right now and answer them. I see somebody making some comments here about coach, you need to get Omar Reed back in the team.
Omar Reed.
Omar Reed is at Portmore.
He's at Portmore, yes. Really good player. Really, really good player. But Portmore has him, and I think he started in a couple of the games. He played in a couple of the games, so I'm sure there's a reason, because he's one of the quality young players that we have in the league.
Yeah. I see someone here have a comment about Randy Smith. I think this Randy Hall and Randy Smith. I think they came from the same club. Manchonil. Yeah. I think Randy Smith made a move. Now he moved from Portmore. He moved from Portmore to Dumbarton. But maybe we can close out just looking at this. And a couple of things. There was a couple of things that I observed in the league this week. One was the challenge by Alwyn Harvey, a player that I have a lot of respect for, kind of grew up around me. But he made a challenge in the Mount Pleasant game, and also the play by what's the wingback Sulay McCullough. And maybe we need to get Mr. Victor Stewart on one of these weeks. But is there a way? The officiating is a whole lot better, I must say. But is there a way for us to be able to like this guy Chang was punched in his mouth? Is there a way to look back at this and take some actions? Could a coach? Is there a thing that a coach could write and a video be looked at? Who has the video of the game to take certain action so this kind of comes out of the game, or do we just
But,
continue?
but the video is on the net. All of the games now within a couple of days they're up on YouTube. You can go back and watch them. It's not and actually the commentator had spoken about it. But we don't want to go back in the situation where a coach have to go write it up. I think the officials is their duty if we're going forward. Just like in other first class leagues in other domain where to go back and look at the tapes. It would be good if the referees look at their tapes that they are doing to see if they missed any call, and they are the ones who could just take the action, bring it to the competition committee attention, or the competition committee could look at it themselves and bring them up. There's provision in the regulations for that, so I think we coaches don't want to be tied down with trying to do those administrative things. We just want to get on with the coaching, and that's the way I think it should be.
What I would say quickly, gentlemen, is that I think it's an evolution. Eventually, it's gonna go because once that was the whole league. Every team had somebody or a couple players who that was like the whole nature of how the league was played. You had these ultra physical people in all of the teams. Over the years, you realize that they are phasing out. So it's not as prevalent as it used to before. And it has been a football culture that a good defender is a defender who broke people's foot and ultra aggressive. And you have to slide tackle and stuff like that. That was always the perception. Now, when we've been exposed to the international game, we recognize that the better defenders don't even tackle. So when I said tackle, meaning don't go to ground to win the ball and so on. So what we're saying now is that eventually, as we continue to bring in the youngsters, bring in a different philosophy with the coaching, as the officials as well, they do their part in terms of regulating it and getting it at a level. I think gradually it will change. And just go back, tell the fans, go back to the 90s and watch a Premier League game in England. And you will see the muddy pitch and the front of in front of the goal dig out with water and stuff like that. Yes, the same England. And they have evolved, reached that stage. We are coming along slowly, but it's gonna take a change. Mr. Speid and myself, we always say it in the courses. It's gonna take a change from the coaching standpoint in terms of instilling a certain philosophy and a way how we want to play. And it will get there. That is my belief. Maybe taking too long, but I think it's improving.
You're right. All of the coaches need to have the same mindset, and I think that is the thing, because you coach your players to be opposed to that thing, and then you have a next coach who do the same course with you, who telling his players to play with the aggressive thing, and I think that is sometimes the implication of it, that one coach is here coaching his players the right way, and next coach is telling them. I've never liked it when coaches tell players to basically hurt your opponent to win. Like, it don't make any sense.
But everything, no, but you say no make no sense, is a means to an end, you know. So everything in football is hinged upon what you want your objective to be. And as I said before, what we cannot ignore as we evolve in coaching and in playing is that somebody taught Mr. Speid how to coach. We're talking about even before you get formal coaching. Somebody taught Pryce. Somebody taught a player how to play. There's a philosophy that you are a culture that you would have inherited that tells you that this is the way to do it. And as I said before, doing it and imprinting it would not inherently be wrong as a principle, because that is how you learn or whatever. But you find now that if it is against the rules, if it is unfair, and worse, as I just said about some of the things that happen, players doing it and getting away with it. So if you're doing it and the referee is not calling it, that means it's not against the rule in terms of the principle of the situation. So I am saying, once it is enforced that this is not allowed in the game, then it will come out of the game. So it's still left to the tolerance, because I am saying, if I am not cheating, Stennett, and I can win by stopping you from play, and stopping you from play no mean breaking your foot and so on. Because there are some players you have to stop them from play, whether you keep pulling them down, whether you box them out, whether you whatever you have to do. and within the rules, and you're not seeing any sort of advocation from the officials to say we're putting a stop to this, then it is going to continue. And this is
Right.
where it has to come from.
So he's so right. Just to sum it up, the truth is, as I said before, the league will teach you a lesson. So when you start to play like that and your officials start to give you red cards and you're playing one-man shot,
Right.
you're going to learn a lesson. The coach going to start, but maybe I shouldn't be playing like that. I've always said it that the refereeing, we cost the referee, but we don't understand that they are important part in the development of the game, and they should be encouraged to make the right call, just like when they are overseas. And people who try to take shortcuts should be punished and thrown out of the games, because remember, when you carry a national team go overseas to play, there is no shortcut for you. The referees are much better. They're not going to be biased about that you live beside them. And furthermore, they're going to have the replays, VAR, a lot of aids to get you off the pitch if you're not conforming to the rules and regulation of the law. So that's what Pryce is saying is 100% correct. We're going to get there. But the sooner the better, though.
All right, so we have 3 questions, and then we just go. Each of you can just take one quickly, and then we close up. This one says, I think this is for your coach. Coach, you need to get back Cheeky in the Premier League. That player is too talented not to be playing. You know Cheeky?
Yes, if you know him, come it too. Tell him say I want him come at training, because it's not me stopping him. He was with us early season, and then him just disappeared. So I don't know what is so important that him don't want to play. So the person right, please get him back for me. Thank you.
So there's a player called Cheeky. I thought this person was trying to be cheeky. But
Omar Thompson. Omar Thompson is his name.
I think what happened, he had Omar Reed before, but it's actually Omar Thompson. Okay. Okay. It says, what do you guys think of the emergence of multiple youngsters in all of these teams? I think we have kind of covered some of it.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, Nakti. I think it should be a rule. For me personally, I think there should be a stipulation that no less than X amount of them should be playing.
Man, that is called discrimination, you know.
No, I am saying it's called development. What I'm saying, what do you think accounts for England's rise in a world football now to the level that they are so competitive and them win some tournaments and whatever? Them force English players to play in the top league by using quota. You have to have certain amount of them. They must play and they must develop. So the point is, force the youngsters. Listen, if football is the business that we're thinking about, you're not going to be profitable making money off of football in Jamaica. What is the route? Overseas. Who overseas want? Youngsters. How does our national team, the youth who missed the penalty with the whole world come down upon one of the biggest penalty in the Euro final, 19 years old. And we know him as a big baller. So he might play football at the highest level from 15, 16. Yeah. When we going to start?
Yeah.
Well, this is the opportunity. So I believe that as a rule, there should be a minimum amount that must play under a certain age to force the development into the team. It happened with the cricket too. When West Indies player used to go England, go play, they were much more competitive. You see now what is happening and them slowly going back. This is where we have to go. You can't learn to play. You have to play to learn. And this is, we have to give them an opportunity to play at the highest level.
Yeah. Very good response. And then he adds on, it says, surprisingly, Mount Pleasant has been one of the teams that has given the least amount of minutes to youngsters. And they are the place that have an academy for the last, the academy has been going for the last 3 years.
There's at this stage, there's not much that I can say on it, obviously. But
obviously.
The point is, the academy has been created, and the senior team is intended to be a pathway for the academy players. At this stage, there are 6 of them in the team. They are registered. 2 of them came on the pitch against Harbourview. That's number 7, Young Campbell, and also Lala name slipped me his last name. But the left back,
Anderson,
Tajay Anderson, and also Devante Campbell. So I can tell you that there are 6 players registered and active with the squad. But again, the coach, it comes down to the coach in terms of the selection. But as we go along, you will see the emergence of the youngsters from the academy in the senior team, because that is a clear pathway. So I know obviously it looks like an irony, because the only team in the country that has an academy and probably playing the least amount of youngsters. But it's transition. If you looked at the press release, even with the coach, the release of the coach the other day, they mentioned the fact that 6 young players were in the team, and gradually it will come. So
okay. Look like we lose Mr. Price. Oh, Mr. Price, you back? We're not breaking up a little bit right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Okay. But that is it. But you know what is interesting? I'm very glad that you brought up this whole this quota situation, because I think it's important just right across. There's a next discussion about it that Mr. Speid has been engaged in that we need to discuss with you one of these Fridays. But we won't get there now because I know you guys are very busy. We have hit the 2-hour mark. People, let me apologize, right? Like I said, Mr. Donavon Duckie should have been here. He was really excited, but he had a few things that he said he had to be doing at the last minute, and so he for whatever reason he wasn't able to make it. But we're going to try to get him back here next week, and we will also have for next week's show we're going to have Ludlow Bernard from Harborview on the show next week as well. So Mr. Pryce, listen, really thank you for your time. Like I said, I know you're a busy man, you're on the road, you came on, I really appreciate it. I'm glad for your thoughts and your comment. And so, like always, you always give my guest the last say. So I'm going to let you just close out, share, what you want to say in closing. And then again, let me thank all the persons who are who watched, all of you who made comments. Thanks for the support. Remember, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go over there and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, right? Again, thank you so much for tuning in to this 2-hour show. We have Pioneer and G-Star and Chris Lynch will be here later talking about track and field and basketball. But Mr. Pryce, the last word is yours. Anything you want to add in closing?
No, just want to say much thanks for the invite, and it was a pleasure to share on the platform with your viewers and yourself. Just happy to know that we have an opportunity to highlight our local football, and I encourage all those on the platform to support it, to get your hat in the ring, make sure that you watch the games, share the links and so on, support local football. And it's a part where now that everything is being televised, I think it does well for the product. And as I said, enjoyed spending the time here with you and your fans. And once it's good for your viewership, we will be more than happy to be here with you again.
Every time, man.
Much love.
Thanks again. Again, big up yourself, people. Have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Mr. Pryce. Mr. Speid, the man who he has been here every week. He had training today, so he was out, so maybe the data and all of that. But thank you so much as well, Mr. Speid. Again, bless you, Mr. Pryce. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe, you and your family. And once you're available next week, we're going to hit you up and talk to you. And once you're available, we want you to be a part of this to get your expert knowledge and analysis of the games. All right. Again, people, thank you so much. We have come to the end of one more show. Have a great weekend. Remember, Jamaica plays against Guadeloupe. Go and watch it. Cheer on the Reggae Boys. And remember, you have many platforms out there. Join the coach's desk. They'll be doing a watch along. Ryan LFC. You have the Formula Sports, Unseen, Sports TV. Check them out and support all of these bloggers out there putting out their content. Sports Frenzy. So everybody, again, bless up. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Have a safe weekend. And God bless you all.
I am sure sports. You know me there. From coast to coast representing. I mean, say this is Righteous representing for Omar. You don't know. Come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.